Hey, welcome to the second video. This is just the progress from the last 2 weeks. It's almost been 2 weeks again, so I'm making a new video on everything that we did. I'm just gonna hop straight into it. As you can see, it's like completely different. Everything around me is completely different. That's because we changed. I took everything from my little test place and I brought it into the actual game place. So my brother brought his stuff in here too, so we had to completely like modify all the folder names and all that so that everything fits. And I'm just gonna hop straight into what we modified right after we brought everything in. I had to completely rework the AI system. We have like tons of AI now. There's like a bunch. As you can see, these are like all the quest AIs that I'm gonna go over soon, but as you can see, there's like 6 AIs in each quest, and that sucks because I didn't modify my AI script to go and like call in from another AI script or like a pretty much like a hub for AIs. So if I ever wanted to change anything for AIs, which I've had to do like plenty of times now, um, I've had to go into each and every one of these quest AIs and change their script. And it's really annoying because I have to go through like 60 of them. And then as you can see, I had to completely redo it. I had to change all the folder names and stuff. Not much is different about it, although this is from the boss AI, so it's gonna have like 10,000 health. Um, we also added, or my brother added stat points and stuff in. So if you can see, I think it's in here. Nah, you gotta go over, you gotta go under when you play in, or hit play, it'll show up. But he gives you like a bunch of like stat points and stuff, but as you can see, I have like a bunch of stuff. I tried making the AI more simpler than I had last time. I tried my best at it, and as you can see, I don't have it get the nearest player. I have the AI chase you if it gets hit. So if this enemy gets hit, it obviously sends out if it was hit. It gets the last player that it was hit from, and it stores it in this, so that later I can call it. I can say chase equals true, and then somewhere in here I say if chase equals true, then you do this. I call a chase function, and I just say, yep, just move to whatever humanoid that you're chasing. Simpler than what I had last time, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Um, I started making test powers before I started moving on to actual like race powers. So just for an example, for the test power, this kind of like a Sero or a beam. It's not too cool or anything, but I made it so that it kind of just tweens the size, and it looks like it's coming out of your mouth, sort of. You also can't spam it, so I'm like pressing Q like a bunch of times, and I can't spam it. You also can't walk when you fire it, which also kind of proves difficult because if you do this, yeah, your guy kind of like runs behind it or in front of it. So that was the test power. And I was just making this before I moved on to like actually making like the power systems in here. So I just went in here and I went, yeah, I just want to make a beam. So I started playing around with tweens and stuff and like changing the size of like a ball or a sphere and then like stretching it, which I found out later you have to add a special mesh to it to even get it to squish for a sphere, which was intriguing, but after that I started working on uh the angel powers. As you can see, there's like a bunch of AI quests around you, and I'll get to that soon enough. But um, this is the first angel power I made. This is not the final product, by the way. So it's just a beam. You can't spam it. I made sure that you couldn't spam it. And if you hit one of them, it should damage them, but I think I took that. Oh, okay, it does damage them. And it called an error, which I'm gonna have to fix soon. But I have a bunch of things. Also, I made it so that it limits the distance, so it can't go too far. So it'll stop it at like 50, I think I said 50 units. Also, if you noticed, I have a shift lock, which helps. I also have a target lock, which I'm going to go over later, but I can't show it because there's no other player in the server, and you can't lock onto NPCs either. The second power is more of like a kind of like a lightning strike, but it's still a work in progress. Nothing is finalized on this. As you can see, it like gets random parts and it kind of puts them all over the place, but it goes and ends on where the mouse hit. It's currently firing two of them at once, which is a bug that I've been trying to combat for so long, which I can't. But if I show it like this, as you can see, it like goes to each block and tries to connect to them. There's a few cylinders like this one, that horizontal bar over there, kind of yeah, it's not supposed to be horizontal, it's supposed to connect to the last block. But those are the powers so far. That second power that I just showed was actually supposed to be the first power, but I have them separated because both of them are still pretty cool. So those were the two powers that I made. Well, three because there's the test power. And then getting into the quests, I shouldn't have stopped the game. Getting into the quests, I made it so that every time, again, you hit one of them, they should chase you. Oh, I don't know why I didn't play my animation. But see, he like chases me. And I also made some smaller details. The They'll also return to their spot if I hit another one. So if I hit this one, that one's going to go back to his original spot, and this one's going to start chasing me. And if I get out of his range, he'll go back to his spot, and he won't bother me if I get too close to him again. There's also a few bugs that I'd like to get over with. There's a bug where I can start climbing AIs. Yeah, like this. You're definitely not supposed to be doing that. I don't know how to fix that either, but like there's like a certain like size you have to be to even do that, because my brother couldn't do it. But yeah, these powers are supposed to like damage them like that, and he's supposed to chase me, but there's a bug going on over here, which I'll fix later. And this will also hurt him. Oh, okay, he chases me if I do that. That's cool. Do the power. Okay, this doesn't hurt him. I don't know why. And this power doesn't even hurt them yet, so we're not even going to worry about that. I also made it so that there's smaller details. Like as you can see, I flinched and I played a little reaction when I got hit. So these are the smaller details about this. So I made smaller details because I don't want to go over everything. So some of the smaller details include making the script simpler, and I'll go over that because when I say simpler, I mean reworking the AI and reworking old shift lock and target lock scripts. I added a timer when you transform so that you're not indefinitely transformed. As I said before, when you hit an AI, they flinch, which means I disable their combat. They can't hit you for like 0.75 seconds. So it gives the player an opening to start hitting them. And then vice versa as well. If the AI hits the player or if a player hits another player, that player who got hit will flinch, and I disable their combat and dodge system so that they can't get out. And later on, I'll make like counter systems that you can like use to get out of those. But so far, all I have is those. And then I said modified old shift lock and old target locks because originally these two things were one script, and I used the context action service to make them. But they were so complex, and it worked, but there were some minor details you had to like fix, and they were using render stepped stuff, so it was always updating and stuff, and you couldn't activate other camera properties, and it was all over the place. So instead, I modified them and made them separate scripts, and I used the user input service, and I can show you that right in here. So once this exits the play mode, let's see. If I go in here and here, yeah, these two are separate things. So for the shift lock, they're completely different. why do you have control down? Okay, well I don't understand why this has control down, but oh no, never mind. Yeah, I do realize why that, because your control key is your shift lock. Okay, so as you can see, this is like a really simple user input service script. I tried making debounces, or not debounces, toggles, but I also tried making it so that it doesn't fire twice, which is another bug, by the way. Every time I fire something with an input, it fires twice, and I've tried to combat it with using this connection thing and like disconnecting it, connecting it. So like right after you press the key, you disconnect the function, and then after this is finished, you like connect it right away. But it still fires twice, and I don't know how to get rid of that. Um, oh yeah, so the target lock is the same thing. I made it simpler, but it's still pretty long, I guess, because you got to get the nearest player, and you got to continually put this in a while loop. And I also have to say like, oh, if there's two players in the game, or greater than two players in the game, then you can run this function. And the find nearest player is going to be right up here. And you're just going to go and find the nearest player to you, store them, and then you're going to say, well, if you hit the Z key, then go and get that stored player, get your camera to face them, and I have like a bunch of prints and statements here checking to make sure that they're not dead, or if you killed them or anything, just stop the target lock. And then the actual function for doing the target lock is up here, so it changes your camera subjects, scriptables, and it makes sure that you face the target. So they're a lot simpler than it was before. Like before, there was like a big list of scripts here, and it was longer than 182 lines. But yeah, those are some of the smaller details that I've made, and I've shown you the angel powers and all that. For this, just for this, I'm calling it from a local script, obviously, and I'm calling a module script because I'm just gonna put all the powers in here. It'll be easier. It won't make as many scripts. And I've tried making the inputs in one script, but that doesn't work. I tried it. I've tried everything to debounce it from stopping from firing twice, but it still doesn't work. And the next thing I'm gonna go over is the quests. I've already gone over some of the bugs and stuff. So for the quests, you can see like there's a bunch of quests here, and they should be getting harder every time you go. So this is quest 5 AIs, these are quest 4 AIs, these are quest 3 AIs. So every time you go up a quest, they should be getting harder, they should be damaging you more, they should have higher health. I don't think we added that in yet. Also, my brother added in a little menu for you. You can see your little character over here. You can tell what power or race you have, your powers, your stat points. Your stat points you can increase. Currently, you can only do it by 1. You can't actually input anything else. So like I could just up my damage, and I can do a lot more damage than what I did previously. So now if I hit, it says I'm doing 31. And if I increase my damage even more, so like 30, and I hit again, now I'm doing 40 damage. Um, the boss, we made the health go up by a lot, so it's like 10,000 health. I'm only at like 200, 300 health. We also have some things over here, just so that you can like up your stats, your XP, and your levels and stuff. So as you can see, my levels go up. And if I go over, it goes and brings me up a level, and it keeps my if I go up one more, okay, well I guess it just keeps 0. And if I wanted to, I can damage myself. As you can see, the little health bar over here goes away, and it starts regenerating until I get my max health. And then I can reset all of my stat points if I want, but all of this right here is just for testing purposes. They're not actually going to be in the game. And then this guy is the AI, so you just hit E, and you can like get your quest. So when you first start off, you're only going to have 2 bandits, and then when you complete that mission, you're going to get like all of these missions and stuff. So if I start this, you have to hit E again to get out of him, and as you can see, my mission progress is 0 out of 2, and little arrow shows you what quest you should be doing. There we go, that's 1 out of 2. If I do it again, that's 2 out of 2, and it awards me some EXP. I'm sure my brother will go over all the data store stuff and the quest stuff and the stats all in his videos. I'll plug his channel into the description below if you ever want to see what he does. And I also printed that you were given your reward after you were rewarded your stuff. So far that's all we have for now. And then as you can see these trees over here, uh, we have a modeler. His name is, can't believe I forgot his name. It's Blood War. He's going to be doing some of the models for us. And thank you for doing the models for us because none of us can do the model. Me and my brother aren't modelers, we're scripters. So we have like a bunch of scripts that do all their stuff, as you can see. So thank you for creating the models. By the way, this looks sick. I could never create this. We'll have to add color later on to that, but yeah, that's as far as we got for the next 2 weeks of progress. And I'm sure we'll be making more, but for now we're gonna take a little break because we've been working non-stop on this, and we're currently playing Battlefield 2042, so we're just kind of having a little fun right now. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks we'll have a little more progress on this. These are just the spawners, by the way. Don't pay attention to these. These will be invisible um, when you actually play the game. But as you can see, this game is like nowhere near finished. So hopefully we have a lot more done by the end of the next 2 weeks. Also on December 20th, I'm gonna be going back home. So I won't be back until like the next 4 week or yeah, maybe in like a month I'll make the next video. Uh, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll be taking a short break. I know it doesn't seem like we've done much, but there's been a lot of progress on this. So thank you for watching this video. Um, have a great day.